I think we've all felt this way after reading a few poems. Darn it, I wish I could write poems like that. Well, employing the correct figures of speech at the correct time is one way of achieving this. Figures of speech are words or phrases that have a meaning which is different than its literal meaning. It is employed as a device in creative writing to put points across in a better manner, sometimes to create humor and also to make our piece of written work well-rounded. Some interesting ones are: number 1, alliteration. It involves using words that begin with the same sound. It is often used in advertising slogans to create something catchy that more people will remember, like Becky's beagle barked and bayed. Number 2, anaphora. This figure of speech uses a specific clause at the beginning of each sentence or point to make a statement. Good night and good luck is an example of the beginning word being the same. The more it is used, the more of an emotional effect is evoked among those who are listening. Number 3, hyperbole. It was as big as a mountain. It was faster than a cheetah. This figure of speech uses exaggeration a great deal. Hyperbole is often seen as an exaggeration that adds a bit of humor to a story. Number 4, metaphor. The use of metaphor compares two things that are not alike and finds something about them to make them alike, usually employed to bring out a deeper and more profound meaning. Like our favorite William Shakespeare wrote, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances." Number 5, simile. In this figure of speech, two things are compared that are not really the same, but are used to make a point about each other. The difference between simile and metaphor is that we usually use as or like in a simile. Example, as proud as a peacock. Number 6, metonymy. In this figure of speech, one word that has a very similar meaning can be used for another, like using the word crown for royalty, or lab coats for scientists. Number 7, onomatopoeia. This is the use of a word that actually sounds like what it means. Example, the rustling of the leaves. Number 8, personification. This is a way of giving an inanimate object the qualities of a living thing. This is used to make it more personable, friendly, and relatable. Example, the tree quaked with fear as the wind approached. The sun smiled down on her. Number 9, pun. We all have that one friend who cracks puns for a living. This play on words uses different senses of the word, or different sounds that make up the word, to create something fun and interesting. Sometimes puns are so subtle that one has to read it with utmost concentration. Example, atheism is a non-profit institution. Denial ain't just a river in Egypt. Number 10, synecdoche. This is a figure of speech in which one thing is meant to represent the whole. Example, their terribly transient feet, or ABCs for signifying the alphabet. Number 11, euphemism. Words that are used to soften the message are often considered euphemisms. Passed away is often used in the place of died. Number 12, oxymoron. An oxymoron is a figure of speech that juxtaposes elements that appear to be contradictory. Example, dark light, mournful optimism, the sound of silence, deafening silence. So, I hope you guys learned something pretty interesting, and I hope you use them next time you write.